Hunting was 20 years ago, which is crazy when you think about it. 20 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Does it feel
I'm
like
106 years old, yes.
No, but y'all were babies.
That was pity. That was the sound of pity.
That is, no, that is not. Sexiest man alive, it's not. But I mean, y'all were so young that, did you really fully appreciate that to win that at that age?
Oh my God, I mean, look, I look like an idiot. I had no idea what was happening. We thought, oh, you make movies, you win Oscars. That's how it goes, great business. It was only till I came back around with Argo and I really appreciated it and what it meant and what it kind of signified. But when we were just like, we were literally kids, and it was totally overwhelming, and it was like being in a car accident. You know what I mean? When you're like, your car starts spinning on the freeway, and you're thinking, I'm spinning all the way around on the freeway. You know, it was like slow motion. It was very surreal.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. And you are a great director. I tell you, Argo was a great film. I always forget how many great films.
You're very kind.
You had a good holiday with your kids. You went on holiday with your kids and Casey's kids and Matt's kids?
Yeah, we went, Matt and Casey's family and my family, we all went skiing. And I'm at the point now where all of our children are better skiers than I am. You know what I mean? Because they're like this big. They're low to the ground. It doesn't hurt when they fall.
Right.
And I'm kind of going along, taking it easy, and then choo, choo, choo. So I just pretend that I take it easy on purpose.
And who's the most well-behaved kid of all of them? Be honest. Is it one of yours?
No. No, it's not. I have the world's greatest mom, but even she cannot conquer the obstacles there. Matt's kids are pretty well behaved. My brother's kids are great. They're all great kids.
Yeah. And your daughter is 11?
Yes.
And what is she into at 11?
Well, now I've become an expert on the tweens. I don't know how much Radio Disney you listen to,
Not a
but
lot.
I hear quite a bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, and when we get in the car, it's got to come on right away. It's got to stay on the whole time. I hear a lot about the romantic adventures of Disney characters who are on the Disney Channel, and we go to Taylor Swift concerts, and that's my life.
Well, there's nothing wrong with any of that.
No, Taylor Swift is great, by the way. She's a great role
Taylor
model.
Swift is great. So we're gonna talk about it. I just heard about this morning. If you want to address somehow, it's like when we do interviews, you say something and then people write it, and it depends on it's out of context and it gets twisted around, and something you said is getting twisted around, and I want you to address it.
Yeah, it was just in an interview with The Guardian that I literally just found out too, but it was that I was talking about actors are more effective when you know less about their personal lives, and was talking about it in the context of when Ben and I first started and people wrote all these articles when Goodwill Hunting came out that we were gay because it was two guys who wrote the script, and feeling like, oh, well, we can't even, like then you have to address it, and then it's like, well, I'm not gonna throw my friends under the bus who are gay and act like it's some kind of disease. You know, how do you even address it? And so you're always in these kind of weird things. But in this day and age, like I said this thing to The Guardian, and it got turned into, and I was just trying to say, actors are more effective when they're a mystery, right? And somebody picked it up and said, I said gay actors should get back in the closet, which is like, I mean, and it's stupid, but it's painful when things get said that you don't believe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it gets represented that that's what you believe, because nobody, in the blogosphere, there's no real penalty for just taking the ball and running with it, you know what I mean? You're just trying to get people to click onto your thing.
And it gets a lot of attention because someone mentioned it to me this morning, and I know you, and I know you're not that guy, and so I just wanted you to be able to.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah.
And it shocks me that you and Ben are not gay, but I think.
Well,
I mean, if you want to deny it and keep your mystery and your marriage,
we're trying.
And your,
we're trying.
Your
I mean,
daughters.
You know. Well, listen. Ben has, his youngest is a boy, so we have a son too. Okay.
So how's your mom doing? I know you're as close to your mom as I am to my mom.
I met your mom, in fact, one time. Yes, my mom is doing well. She's teaching me. You know, my mom has always labored to teach me about responsibility. That's mom's big thing. Sometimes successfully, sometimes not. But she's a little crazy, my mom. Like when I was, for example, when I was a boy, I wanted a dog, like many boys do. And we lived in the city, and so my mother said, well, you'll never walk the dog. I can't, it requires a lot of care, and you won't do it because you're 10 years old. I said, no, I will do it. I nagged her and nagged her and nagged her. Finally, she said, okay, well, you have to show me that you're responsible enough to have the dog. And I said, well, how do I have to do that? She said, well, you have to walk the dog. Show me that you'll walk the dog for a month before we get it. I said, well, how am I going to show you? And she was like, I want you to take this leash and walk an imaginary dog around the block 3 times a day. It's a little cruel, right? My mother was also a sadist, which is interesting. And so I was like determined to do it. And so I just started taking the leash. I had friends on this block, mind you, out of the house and walking around the block with it. Of course, the first couple of weeks I would holding the leash, like doing the imaginary thing. Then I realized that when I got around to the other side of the block, when Mom couldn't see me and other people could, and they'd be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, this is my belt. Don't worry about it. I started hiding it. So I did it anyway for 3 weeks, until finally my mother realized that I wasn't going to budge. And she was like, you know what? It's more than just walking a dog. It's feeding. It's picking up after it. And I just don't think you're ready. So I got next anyway. And I suffered the humiliation of walking the phantom dog, as is now known in the film.
That's not fair.
Not really.
You could have at least walked somebody's dog that needed walking.
That's true. There's a lot of dogs that need walking.
She could have given you a real dog to walk instead of an imaginary dog.
I know. Well, I made up, but I have 5 dogs now.
Yeah,
I'm like the kid who couldn't eat sugar when he was young and is now 400 pounds.
Now, I saw 3 dogs. You have 5 now?
Well, there's people that live on sort of next to where I live and take care of the area. It's a big country place, and they have a couple of dogs too.
Oh.
So there's a bunch of dogs.
Well, good for
it's
you.
a pack.
Good for you.
And
You should at least have an even number, though. Get 6.
Yeah. I still, one of the funny things is I'm still fond of walking the imaginary dog. Isn't that strange? I find myself wandering around with the leash every now and again.
They're a lot less responsibility, I find. Just to have that.
Well, you have a very, very lovely speaking voice.
Thank you.
Very lovely.
Thank you.
Now that I've complimented you, I need to embarrass you, because when you're here,
Excellent.
we love to show yearbook pictures of people.
Great.
And yours actually, it's not embarrassing. There's one really, really cute one. That's a good-looking picture right there. What's happening there?
That's them biting my nails. I still do that.
You'd think that they wouldn't use that shot but that's the one they chose.
Yeah. I don't know
And where did
why.
you go to school?
Cambridge, Ringe and Latin in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Come on, Cambridge. All right.
That was the weirdest kind of reaction. Ah! That was really not a woo. Ah!
It's like we've all been scarred by the experience.
And then you went to college to Harvard, and then you're like just short of actually graduating. Do you think you'll go back?
No, I don't think now.
You could get a good job though, but you could,
Well, that was always my thing. As I was an English major, and I felt like, well, I was writing professionally, so I didn't need to go back and get the degree. I got a lot out of the experience. It really was a great experience for me, and I spent more than 4 years there. I would just leave because I'd get a job because I was already acting professionally. So I feel like I got everything that I needed to get from the experience.
It's nice to say you went to Harvard. It doesn't matter if you graduate. I mean.
Well, actually, I'm a real, like, compared to some of the other dropouts like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
I'm
You're a slacker.
I got some work to do.
Yeah, exactly.